Music. The world changed when the first votes were counted in the South Korean National Assembly and the Japanese Diet. Both countries have passed laws that accept XRP as legal currency, just like the yen and the won. It's not a pilot, it's the law. You might think this is only about crypto payments and stores that take them. But this goes further. XRP can now be used to pay salaries. XRP can be used to pay taxes. On a company's balance sheet, both bills and assets can be listed in XRP. We're not adding to this. It's very important. Music. The law was passed in Japan after a lot of public discussion. Supporters said that the country, which is a world leader in making goods and technology, needed to update its financial system to keep up with new ideas. Critics were worried about the market's instability, government oversight, and fairness for everyone. But most people saw the chance for faster cross-border trade, less dependence on correspondent banking, and a stronger voice in global financial systems that aren't controlled by a few reserve currencies. The discussion was just as heated in South Korea, which has an economy based on exports, advanced fintech ecosystems, and people who are getting more involved in decentralized finance. Supporters called out the benefits of having a digital asset that can be quickly sent and received, as this makes payment systems, money transfers, and trade settlements run more smoothly. Both parliaments passed frameworks that are very similar to each other. The laws say that domestic goods and services must accept payments in XRP if the recipient asks them to. They also say that taxes, duties, fees, and fines can be paid in XRP by the government, and employers can choose to pay workers in XRP. XRP can be used by companies to hold, release, or report their financial statements. In cross-border trade agreements, XRP amounts may be specified. Music. You know, the authorities in both countries are really stepping up their work. They have the power to keep an eye on and control these flows. Some of the things they can do are anti-money laundering, know your customer, taxing gains, and keeping an eye on the exchanges and payment processors that make XRP trades possible. It's a pretty all-around method. Now, let's talk about problems with facilities, which are not at all small. Both countries are putting in place newer regulatory systems for blockchain. Work is being done on integrating payment processors, point-of-sale systems, and blockchain banks' banking systems. They are also putting a lot of effort into making sure that consumers are well protected. It takes a lot of work, but it's important. Financial institutions are opening accounts just for working with XRP. To meet legal requirements, exchanges are either getting new licenses or changing how they are set up. The government is currently making rules for how to tax income, capital gains, and the value of businesses in XRP. At the same time, people are learning about how to keep prices stable, how to protect themselves from price changes, and what rights they have when making contracts or payments in XRP. A lot of work is being done to make sure everyone understands. Small and medium-sized businesses can get help from the government to buy point-of-sale tools that accept XRP, and accountants can learn how to work with ledgers that are denominated in digital assets. Why did Korea and Japan work together? This is part of a plan. In trade, science, and manufacturing, both countries work together and compete. They both didn't want to be left behind as blockchain markets change. Japan has had laws about cryptocurrencies for a long time that are pretty forward-looking. This led to a lot of study into digital assets, and many Japanese people already use crypto in different parts of their lives. South Korea had some problems with regulations and was cautious, but it also had a strong crypto culture, a need for money transfers, access to global trade, and people who were interested in fintech. Both governments thought that by making things clear, making sure the money was legal tender, making rules clear, and protecting consumers, they could speed up usage, lower risk, and bring in global investment. Right away, economists and experts started to figure out what this means for the value of XRP. Nomura Holdings was part of a group that made a leading model. It predicts that demand for XRP will skyrocket when it becomes fully legal tender in two huge countries with combined GDPs in the trillions of dollars. It will also be widely used in trade, salaries, tax collection, and corporate holdings. There are limits on music liquidity because a lot of the supply is locked up in company reserves, government treasuries, and operating capital. This will make price increases stronger. The model predicts that the price of XRP will reach $150,000 in about 18 months, assuming that adoption keeps growing, regulations stay stable, and there aren't many big geopolitical disruptions. That number could go up if China or other big Asian economies do the same. The domino effect is real, not just a theory. The proof of concept will be clear once Japan and Korea fully combine XRP into their systems. This includes everyday transactions, government duties, and business accounting. It will be faster, cheaper, and clearer for citizens to do business. Multinational companies will benefit from their balance sheets. Patterns of international trade will change. Countries in the region, including China, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Singapore, Malaysia, and Indonesia, will see big drops in the costs of sending money abroad, the time it takes to make cross-border payments, and the waste that comes with changing currencies. These countries are already testing digital currencies or have active systems in place to regulate them. It may be shocking for them to see two big economies running large parts of their own financial systems on XRP. This could put political and economic pressure on them to do the same to stay competitive and take advantage. Music. So let's think about China for a moment. With its huge export industry, growing dominance in digital finance, ongoing digital yuan experiments, and the Belt and Road Initiative's trade routes that span Asia, China has everything to gain by either recognizing XRP or making changes to its own systems to allow XRP to be used in international trade. If China joins in, not just as a user but also as a partial adopter, maybe even letting denominated trade contracts happen, the market for XRP could grow, which is a big deal. In many of the modeling situations, that multiplication effect makes the price go way above $150,000. Some analysts in the area think that large amounts of money coming into XRP from China's huge businesses and governments could cause those price estimates to double or even triple. If conditions are right, this could push XRP into the 300,000 plus range. 𝗙𝗵𝗹. This all means good choices for the average person,